Hey everybody, welcome to yet another podcast of Depressed to Success, where we talk about everything you need to know to get out of a depression stronger, better, wiser, and happier than before. At least that is the goal. And in the future, we even thinking about taking it a step further towards everybody's own personal versions of success. So, a quick disclaimer. Before you listen, I want to tell you that I am not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist. I received questions about my own experience and my own perspective. I am not completely for medication and I'm not completely against medication. I believe every person, every patient, every client is different, and some people need, or better said, could really benefit from medications, while others might not. So what I do stand for is that everybody needs and deserves the help they need. What matters is your own physical and mental health. So what I did, I was via my Instagram, I tried to involve as many of you as possible, and I asked everybody who was following me at Our Life Coach and at Depressed to Success, what people wanted to know about depression and mental health. And a couple of you asked me to make a podcast about medication. And then especially my personal experience and thoughts about them. So as requested by you, here we go. So I'm first gonna read the questions out loud, and then I'm gonna answer them all in one go. So I received 8 questions. The first one was, what is your personal perspective slash view on medication? Second question, has it been offered to you? 3, have you accepted or declined? 4, what were the reasons for your decline or acceptance? 5, what were your personal side effects? 6, what impact had it on you? 7, how do they make you feel? And 8, did you feel a change? So, to give you a better understanding about my choices, I have to tell you first about my ADHD medication. So, I have been diagnosed with ADHD. Um, so, yes, I have been offered medication for ADHD. Uh, as well as for my depression. So for both, I did my own research before and after, and I listened to my body and how I responded very closely, and so should everybody, if you ask me. And as each and every one of us is responsible for our own health, right? So for ADHD, they prescribed me Ritalin or methylphenidate, but with the possible side effects that I found on internet search, I decided to try an alternative called dextroamphetamines. So after I tried it, I felt like I took some sort of party drug, basically. I did feel good. I felt energized, but I felt a little bit too energized, if you ask me. So I could not stay still. I felt my heart racing. Um, so it was a little bit too much, and I needed to take the medication for, I think, 3 times a day, and the dosage was being built up. So this was my reaction to the first doses. After it stopped working, I felt a bit lower than usual. I must say, before taking the medication, I was also a bit skeptical, and it didn't really feel right for me. So I stopped fairly quickly with it and decided to continue without medication. So later on, when I was diagnosed with a major depressive disorder, of course, I thought back to the time when they prescribed me medication for my ADHD, of course. And this time they prescribed me selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs. So I asked a couple of questions and I asked for alternatives, and I did my own research, and we decided to go for the alternative Hyperi plant with Hypericum perforatum, also known as the very potent herb St. John's wort. This was an antidepressant I got a prescription for, so yeah, for me it was very mild, but it was very pleasant and effective. And I started feeling better and better as the days went by. And after the medication was finished, I just stopped. And it went good for a while. And then when I felt I was falling back into a depression, and that time I decided to try regular St. John's wort. You can get without a prescription. And to my surprise, it worked faster and better than the prescription medication, basically. So that was a nice surprise for me. So nowadays I always have a bottle in my home, and sometimes I take it. Um, Now I'm not recommending anyone to buy anything. I believe it is wise to talk about it with your doctor because they know you best, I think, when it comes to prescribing medication. And I also believe it is wise to listen to your body and be conscious of how you react. You should always do that, if you ask me. So always read the package insert and talk with it with your doctor before you make a decision, and also when you feel side effects. So with the ADHD medication dextroamphetamine, my side effects were quite intense. Faster heartbeat, a lot of energy were the good things, but also crashing after it stopped, or after it stopped working. So I decided that was not for me. And the side effects of my antidepressant based on St. John's wort was 0%. So, and it also really helped me to get out of my depression and keep me out of my depression. And note that this was my personal experience, and you might have a different one, just as anybody else. And I also was doing a lot of soul searching at that time. I was working on myself. I was in the midst of becoming a certified NLP coach and other things. So it wasn't just only the St. John's wort, but after that, um, things were more stable. And sometimes when I felt I was slipping back, I got St. John's wort and I stabilized quicker, actually. Um, yeah. So, but you also have to really be aware of the side effects, because even though you can buy St. John's wort easily, um, as I said, you have to discuss it with your doctor because if you take other medication, which is very important, when you take other medication, they might not work as good anymore when you also take St. John's wort. And for women, it can even affect the effect of birth control pills. So these are just a couple of things you should be aware of. But yeah, you're responsible for your own health, as am I. So always, yeah, ask all the questions you need, do the research, and always inform yourself properly. So yeah, that was I think it for my own personal experience. So yeah, thank you for listening and thank you for the questions. Really makes my job as a podcast maker and light worker life coach a lot easier. So yeah, in the next podcast, I'm going to dive deeper in types of medication, but also natural and herbal treatments for depression and how they work exactly. So there are a couple of different types of medication, but as I mentioned, I am not a doctor, but I do know uh, a bit about it, and I do want to share the knowledge, or at least from what I know and from my perspective. But you are also always responsible for your own health, as I keep saying repeatedly. Um, and you might also find something different than me, and you might react differently than I would react. So yeah, so the next podcast is also going to be about St. John's wort because it has helped me personally. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for being here. For the people listening on Spotify, I also started a YouTube channel where you can find even more content than just on Depressed to Success. So there's going to be interviews, mental health related topics, Q&As like this one, but also workout videos, and I'm going to integrate a couple of my my hobbies. Um, so yeah, that's going to be an exciting thing. And for the people watching me on YouTube right now, you can also find me on Spotify at Depressed to Success. Find me there. The nice thing from podcast is that you can listen it on the go. So I like listening to when I'm in my car driving, just as I'm sitting right now. And then you can educate yourself. You can learn about other people's perspectives. And I really enjoy that way of learning. So yeah, thanks again for being here. You can also find me on Instagram at Tao Life Coach and at Depressed to Success. And I'm also creating a website where I hope to build a community in the near future. So stay tuned and check it out, www.depressedtosuccess.online, where I also gonna integrate courses and lots of other nice complementary things. And I also have the website www.taolifecoach.com. Yeah, if you are struggling with feelings of depression or even heavier feelings such as suicide, please reach out to the people around you. Talk to your family, talk to your doctor or your friends. It's very important you do that. There are also suicide hotlines all over the country. Just Google it and find it and get the help you truly deserve. So, yeah, thanks for being here again. If you are a depression survivor, or maybe you're still in the process of getting out of a depression, maybe you want to share your story for yourself just for the sake of sharing. Because the more often we talk about it, the lighter it gets, and you take away a little bit of the pressure of the depression. And it's also a very good inspiration for others, of course. So if you're one of those people, you can reach out to me. Best way is to do it via my Instagram. But if you're not really into sharing, that's okay too. Um, but if you have questions, you can also ask me directly, or maybe you want to be on a podcast. It can also be anonymously. So yeah, just do whatever it takes to make you feel better. So that is about it. Um, yeah, I look forward to the next podcast. Thank you for your feedback. If you sent me questions, it makes it a lot easier, as I said. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, have a beautiful day. Take care. Stay strong, and much love and light from your brother Tao. Until the next one. Peace.